What is your full name? Do you have any nicknames? My full name is Kaylee Marie Torok, and really the only nickname I have is Kay, which I get called by the ones closest to me. So really my family and really close friends call me Kay. Do you have any quotes or mottos you live by? The two that come to my head first are live the life you love and love the life you live. And the second one is always treat others the way you want to be treated. This question says, where did you grow up and what is your school background? So I grew up in a kind of small town called Davison, Michigan. And I went to school at Davison High School, graduated with about 400 people. And then from there, I did my undergraduate studies at Grand Valley State University on the west side of the state. And then I got my master's degree at Eastern Michigan University. Who is your hero and why? So I have two heroes that come to mind. The first one is a real one, and that would be my grandma, who I call Mima. And that's because she's gone through so much health-wise and medically, and she still continues to fight every day and keep a positive attitude towards her life. My other one would be Jana Kramer, my celebrity crush. And that would be because she is also just a very down-to-earth person, and I feel like I know her. Obviously, I don't know her personally, but I feel like I know her from everything that she shares, and she's continue to fight the good fight, she calls it. So she's also another person that I look up to, or another hero I have. The next one, how did you first learn about the field of speech-language pathology? Well, in my undergrad, I first wanted to be a physical therapist, and then a radiation therapist, and then a dietitian, and lastly a teacher. I was kind of all over the place, and I just knew I wanted to help others, but I didn't really know where I wanted to be. And my mom is an elementary school principal, and somebody that I've just been around kids my whole life, and she's kind of just taught me a lot with administration and always helping others. And so I found her speech-language pathologist at her school, and she allowed me to job shadow her, and I immediately fell in love with it, and then quickly learned that in school, when I got accepted into the undergrad program, how diverse our treatment areas are and the populations, and I just fell in love more with it. It's a great field, and I'm glad that I found it. What is my favorite thing about being a speech-language pathologist? There are many. But I think my most favorite thing is that, well, one, I get to make a difference in everybody's lives, but also the variety of ages and abilities we treat. My day consists of, I might have a 2-year-old in the morning, and then my next one could be an 80-year-old who had a stroke. And that diverse age and ability just allows me to quickly think on my feet, and it keeps me motivated and excited and just always thinking throughout the day, which I love. If I had to choose a different career, what would it be? Well, I would be a professional singer. Not that I'm good at all, but I just love listening to music and listening to good tunes in my car, and I love to sing in the car. So I think that would be my first go-to. Another one would be a fashion designer. I don't know why. I think that would be an awesome job too. Is there anyone I'd like to shout out or thank? So I have two people that I'd love, a lot of people, but the first two people that come to mind. One, Lee, for always pushing me to be my best and do my best, and always mentoring me, especially during my everything first in my career. My first job as a speech-language pathologist, my first management position, really all of my first, she was there and pushing me. So I thank her for that. And then also my boyfriend, Adam, he always pushes me to work my hardest and continue to be driven no matter how hard it is. So I'd like to thank him for always supporting me too. What is the most challenging part about being a speech language pathologist, and why, and how do you overcome it? So there are some aspects to our job that are challenging, but there are also lots of positives too that kind of override those challenging aspects. But the most challenging part for me is when we are with our patients, we become really invested with them, so that they know we care about them and that we want to see progress in them. And I have a difficult time kind of disconnecting when I leave the office and maintaining that work-life balance. So that's hard for me because I just have a compassionate personality like most speech language pathologists do, and it's hard to kind of disconnect and just let go for the night until you have to come back the next morning. And how I overcome it, usually it's a work in progress. It's a learning curve, but when I leave work, I try to listen to some uplifting music and try to just shut my mind off for a little bit. And then I've also gotten into journaling to try to have an outlet of some sort. What is one thing most people don't know about you? The one thing is that I have a hearing loss in my right ear. It was actually a sudden hearing loss that happened when I turned 20. Still to this day, I don't know why, but I have gotten a hearing aid that I'm able to wear daily that helps me communicate with others. But I think that's one of my favorite things about my job now too, is that I get to help other people with their communication difficulties, knowing what it's like from a patient's perspective as well. Are you superstitious? Yes. So those silly sayings like, if the black cat crosses you in the road and you're gonna have bad luck, I would overthink that for days until something bad happened. And also, find a penny, pick it up all day long, you'll have good luck. I believe in that too. Are you more of an extrovert or an introvert? I would say that I'm more of an introvert until you get to know me a little bit. So I kind of keep my close friends and family, and I think they might say I'm an extrovert, but I think I would say I'm an introvert until I kind of trust you and get to know you a little bit more. What is something you can't live without? Well, queso. I'm a cheese person. Really, any dairy I love. Don't know if I could live without it. And candy. I'm a sugar person. Sweetest tooth you'll ever meet. And then our therapy bunny Gus Gus, who I love dearly. If you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be? 3 words to describe myself would be, I would say that I'm very driven, I'm compassionate, and loving person. Tell me about your career ambitions. Lots of them. But originally, when I graduated from grad school, I wanted to own my own private practice eventually down the road. And I was very lucky to find Lee Harder Speech Services, where she was just starting off and kind of got more involved in the business aspect of things. And this opportunity got me into management and just in the small business aspect. So I no longer want to own my own. I'd love to just be a part of Lee Harder Speech Services down the road and continue with that management and business piece as well. And then in treatment, I'd like to continue my pediatric groups. I love running groups. They're fun, and it's great to see all the littles socializing and teaching them all the language. And then also I want to launch adult groups as well. I love my adults also. They have a special place in my heart, but I really want to launch a cognitive group. I think that would be awesome, just to know that they have that support and are able to socialize and improve overall quality of life. And then also I want to launch the nonprofit aspect of our business. I think it would be great to just provide those resources for those that really need it and would get skilled services, but may need more financial assistance. So hopefully, fingers crossed this year, we'll get that going. All right, do I have any hobbies? I do. In my free time, I do like to read or listen to audiobooks. I love reading, oddly, more about my the career that I'm in. So any speech language pathology books I really like. And I also like to craft. I just recently got a Cricut, and so I've been crafting a lot with the Cricut. And then I also like to just spend time with friends and family. So, yeah. Okay, did we not like it? What is your greatest accomplishment? I would say my greatest accomplishment would be becoming a skilled speech language pathologist. I love what I do, and I love coming to work every single day. All my patients put a smile on my face. Not every day is easy, just like at any other job, but they give me a reason to keep showing up and pushing so that I can see all their progress and help them see a brighter future too.